Greetings, explorers. Welcome to a special old world exploration. I'm happy to present Dave Weiss from flatearthdave.com. Dave, I appreciate you joining me here.
Why is it I always get introduced as a special, like special, like I kind of get the special ed feeling whenever
Special
I'm
needs.
being introduced because I'm talking about flat Earth. No, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you on the
Yeah,
heliocentric model. I think it's responsible for all the godless nihilism in the world here today. But
100%. There you go. Why would they lie, man? Why would they lie? That question makes me laugh, but I asked it. So anyone knew that actually asked that question, that means they're realizing that all of their proofs are getting taken away from them. So they're desperately trying to hold on to the globe by saying, well, why would they lie? Why would they lie? And um, that's a fun one to answer. So
yeah, when they start to resort to the ad hominem attacks and attack your character, you know you've got them in the crosshairs. That's what I think.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. People. I always say people don't like having their ball taken away. Right. Take a ball away from a baby, and then you take a ball away from a grown man. It's the same thing. Nobody wants their precious ball taken away because we love the globe. We love space. We love the fantasy, and that is the foundation of our world. But when the foundation of your world is a spinning impossible space lumpy ball, rock, water, air ball in a space vacuum that can't exist even in Narnia. I don't even think Narnia would allow that in there. Then when you realize that you do have a foundation below you, a created foundation, and you're at the center of it, that's all good. It's just people are afraid to let go and look.
Yeah, well, it's like I feel like it's like the main anchor, the main prison that they've put us in here in this reality is the spinning ball. I never liked the vastness of space and the black hole aspect of it. I think it's I mean, at this point I can see how demonic
Right.
that is, but it's a trap. I think it is a prison for sure.
Yeah. It's a prison for your for your mind.
And my channel like focuses on the old world, which I think is actually um, pretty synonymous with flat Earth. I think both of these two angles of truth seeking are coming to a convergence point. Although there are a lot of people in my audience, I think that are still holding on to the ball, and I'm hoping maybe today we can um, steer people in the direction of questioning that a little bit more instead of clinging to the NASA lie, I guess you could
Right.
say.
I mean, we call it the globe religion because it really is
Mm.
a completely faith-based religion based on lies and assumptions. People say, what I say. I like to ask people, why do you believe in a globe? And their answers for most of them. Well, that's what I was told. That's all they have, right? Other
Mm.
ones that are a little more indoctrinated, they'll say, "Oh, Eratosthenes," and they'll talk about Coriolis because and they'll talk about seasons and sunsets, and then when you take that away from them, showing them how all of those things actually prove the flat Earth, they resort to why would they lie and ad homs, as you said, trying to hold on. And hey, I'm not going to fault them because I did it. I did it too. The term ban for life came from me banning people for life from our social media on our podcast for even suggesting that I look at flat Earth. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're too stupid to listen to our podcast. And that was my attitude. But then my friend Sophia Smallstorm, she convinced me to look, and I went in with a bad attitude. I went in with, I'm just going to prove the globe, disprove flat Earth, and get rid of all you, tards. And I'm allowed to say that word, by the way. I'm bringing it back. And for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep at all. I literally didn't sleep. I couldn't believe it. And when you say you can't believe something, that makes it hard for you to see the truth. But when you're actually looking for the truth and the outcome, I didn't want the Earth to be flat. I wanted not have to relearn everything that I thought I knew. And unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, in the end, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
And that's what, like about 10 years ago for you? You've been into this?
2014.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 years. Interesting. For me, it was about 3 years ago. We were in the thick of lockdown, and I started researching old world and flat Earth at the same time. I got into your material. I got into Sean Hibbler's documentaries are real eye openers, and kind of like you, I was stunned for a little while, and in a bit of disbelief, and then you keep looking at it, and I'm at the point now where it's completely laughable to consider the heliocentric model as even working
Flat
well.
earthers, some of us have different ideas. Like, hey, how does the dome work? How do the lights in the sky work? Is it an endless plane? Is there more? Is it terminated in Antarctica? These are all great questions that we all need to look into. And we all have one thing in common, though. All of us, no matter what, whether even the crazy people that think the Earth is upward rising, flat Earth, right? Have you seen that lately?
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's crazy. But we all realize that the heliocentric model was ridiculous, and we wonder how we ever believed it, right? And the way we believed it is we were taught it as a fact before we had the ability to talk or speak or think critically. We were
Mhm.
taught it as before we could before the first TV shows we watched, Sesame Street, space. It's all they got astronauts on there, and Disney. Astronauts, everything, globes
Mhm.
everywhere. So when the foundation of your world beliefs, come together, that sets how you see the world, right? You talk about Sean. This is old world order. I love starting people on that. I have that. It's on my website. Link there. It's also in
Yeah.
my app.
Yeah.
But just for an example of how your perception of the world is how your perception of the world. I'm going something here. How did that happen? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. All right. So there we go. How we see things. This world is super complicated, but our experiences tell us something. Like if you took a baby, a brand new baby that just opened his eyes and showed them, a house and then woods behind them and stuff, they're not knowing what they're seeing. They don't know that those are trees behind the house. They're trying to figure out what's in the foreground, what's in the background, because they have no life experience yet,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so it's your life experience that tells you what's going on. For example, in this image here, I got a guy fishing on a pier and a boat, sun, clouds, tree growing up over here. So your life experience tells you what? Is the water higher or lower than the pier?
Lower.
Okay. Is the boat higher or lower than the pier?
Lower.
Okay, the lower, but the top of the boat's probably is higher, right? Because the
Okay.
pier,
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, but you're right. And the clouds are above the boat, and the sun is above the clouds, and perspective makes it look like it's close. And this tree is closer. This guy is on the pier because if the water was higher, it would be over the pier. Where's
Mhm.
the 50-story skyscraper?
Mhm.
Where is the 50-story skyscraper in this image?
Down below the curve, way back behind the horizon.
Nope, it's right there.
Ah.
We're actually looking straight up.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
And so your experience tells you that that pier is level with the water, but it's
Mhm.
just an optical. It's just the way we see things. And now your life experience is, oh, I'm in New York City. I'm lying down on the road looking up at the sun, and it's probably 12 noon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into a little sunset proof here. So let me ask you a question. The sun moves to like 1 o'clock. Is it below the horizon or is it just beyond the building? Well,
That's
easy. Come on. You just saw it move over. Is it below the horizon or is
beyond the
it beyond the
building.
building?
Beyond
It's
the
beyond the
building.
building. Simple, simple,
Yep.
simple. All right.
Yep.
So the question is, how could you see it again? Right. And the answer is if you went backwards, you
Mhm.
probably get
Step
a better
backwards.
angle and be able to see over the building.
Yep.
So here is a perspective grid, which they don't teach us in school anymore about.
Mm.
And this guy's eye line is right here. And we'll throw this mountain in here. This mountain, let's say it's 3,000 feet above his eyes.
Mhm.
And there's the sun. And the sun is going to go below the physical horizon of the earth or just beyond the mountain?
Mhm.
Beyond the mountain. These are easy,
Yeah.
not trick questions. It's
Same
beyond the
difference.
mountain. So if we went backwards 25 miles, there's the sun.
Yep.
The top of the mountain is still 3,000 feet above his eye level. But what do flat earthers say? The horizon always rises to eye level? No, that's not true. The horizon always appears to be at eye level. And there's different horizons. There's three or four different horizons. We'll get into that. So this horizon is 3,000 feet above his eye level, flat or globe. The sun is above it. The sun goes away. Did it go below the horizon or just beyond the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
It went beyond the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now we add the sky in here. So we have the atmosphere and the cloud deck. And the clouds aren't touching the ground over here. You know that from your life experience. They're just due to perspective. They're all merging into this line. So the sun is above the clouds and it goes below the earth curve or beyond the horizon again. The answer is beyond the horizon. But what is this horizon? Well, it's the top of the mountain, 3,000 feet above his eyes. But it's also these clouds, which are 10,000 feet above the mountain. So that horizon that appears to be at eye level is a minimum of 13,000 feet above his eye level.
Mm-hmm.
And anything above that, anything celestial, will go beyond the horizon. Just like if you're sitting in your yard and you have a 5-foot wood picket fence and your neighbor comes over and he's talking to you, standing at the edge of the fence, and he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You can see him from the shoulders up, right? You're sitting down in your yard and he walks away. He's going to disappear, right? Here's his head over the fence. He's going to walk away and his head's going to set from the bottom up. Now, if that fence was mountains and clouds and atmospheric deck of opacity, all crunched to be in your eye level in the far distance, anything above it is going to disappear just like his head. That's how the sun sets. Now, the globers that will follow me here and go into every one of your comments, they'll go, flat earthers will never address the sunset. I just did. I just did. Okay? And it's not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Globe or flat, it's the same. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not going behind a physical curve. And the globers even say that you can never see the physical curve. It's always a refracted curve. Crazy. It's crazy. It's the mental gymnastics are just incredible what they have to do. So
that's what I was just going to say. It's mental gymnastics. Yeah. You know what? One of my favorite proofs is the way the Earth moves through the several different ways the Earth moves through the universe. If you want to get into that and explain how silly that is, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, so we were taught the circling solar system. We go around the sun, but they didn't teach us that the sun is also moving. So the Earth is spinning at the equator at 1,000 miles per hour. It's orbiting the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. And guess what? I don't care who you are. You're a race car driver, a jet fighter. You can't fathom 66,600 miles an hour. But we're also chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. This entire system is moving sideways at over 2 million miles per hour. Okay? So we're moving in 4 different directions at once, but we don't feel any of it. Right? And then the default argument that comes out of everyone's mouth, I know you're all thinking it, is, well, on an airplane, I could drink a glass of water and walk to the bathroom and there's no problem. Right? I say, oh, you want to compare an airplane to just the slowest motion of the Earth, which is the spin? First, you got to double the speed of the airplane. Then you got to take off the outer shell of the airplane because there's no outer shell over the Earth, the globe Earth. And then you have to nosedive at 1 mile per minute just to follow the curve at that speed. Okay? And let me know how your water's doing. And you probably won't need to walk to the bathroom because you've already gone. Right? So just so people can understand what these speeds are, this is the hypersonic sled track, right? You can look this up and hear it with sound. There's no sound on this. Watch, it's going to go by at Mach 8.6. Ready? Oh, didn't even say it. Okay? Mach 8.6. 8.6 times the speed of sound. So you have to believe that the Earth is a lumpy rock surrounded by smooth, curved water that no one's ever been able to measure the curve. Surrounded by high pressure air with no container. No one's ever been able to demonstrate air pressure without a container, adjacent to a void, a vacuum of no pressure, right? Yeah. But we go out into nature and we see this. Oh, I didn't give you the speeds. The Earth is orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that rocket sled, and it's chasing the sun 100 times faster. You can't fathom that speed, let alone double that speed, let alone 10 times or 100 times that speed. You can't fathom it. Our brains are not capable of fathoming that speed.
Mhm.
But you have to believe that this lumpy rock of water is going, and we have lakes that look like this.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody to, on any type of moving apparatus, get a dinner plate, fill it with water, and move it anywhere in any direction and not have that water move. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Impossible. Impossible.
You
Right?
know what? For me, Dave, that the third motion, the fact that we're corkscrewing,
Yeah.
should be real obvious to people when you think of the perspective and what we see in the heavens as far as the stars. That one should be a deal breaker on the heliocentric model. I mean, the first two motions, some people can say, well, we're spinning, and then we're spinning around the
Well,
sun. But the third one, most people don't know about. They don't know we're
chasing the sun.
yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah, we're chasing it at 500,000 miles an hour, and we never return to where we were before.
That's key.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Never return to where we were before. So you know what parallax is? You do, but parallax is when you're driving down the road, the trees next to you are going by fast, and the trees in the distance or objects in the distance are going by slow. So as you move, so these two things are lined up, but as we move, parallax makes you see them. They change positions, right?
Yeah.
The one closer to the camera is moving faster. So these change position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never once in all of history, with all of the motions of the stars, right? We're going 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. They say 80% of the stars in the galaxy are binary, which means they're orbiting each other as they're going around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are trinary, 3 stars, right? But in all of history, no 2 stars have ever crossed paths. Dave, what is the best proof that the globe isn't real and flat Earth is real? And I say every single one of them, if you use your critical sense.
Yeah,
every single one of them. That one right there, the fact that the stars never change, teaches you that they're fixed. We sent the balloon up in Arizona with high-def cameras looking up at night, and we could see the incredible Milky Way. It was a beautiful night. And we could see the stars before we even launched the balloon. What's going to happen as that balloon gets higher and higher? Now, it was a clear night, but the thickest atmosphere is down low. So the higher you get, the clearer the atmosphere is going to be and the farther from any light pollution. So the stars should do what? Get brighter and clearer. No, they should get brighter and clearer.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Brighter and clearer. Like, you ever go to the top of a mountain? Like,
yeah,
like
just like you would go to the bush to see a better, for sure.
Yeah. So the problem is, as that balloon passed 50, 60, 70, 80,000 feet, all the stars disappeared. Now, I can come up with 100 different reasons why and how that happens on a flat Earth, but I can't prove them. But we don't need, the falsification is independent of replacement. What's the heliocentric explanation for that? Because there is none, other than the camera started malfunctioning. Okay.
Yeah.
I flew from California to Australia at nighttime, at midnight flight. And I was so excited to look at the stars. This is long before I was a flat earther. And there was no stars in the sky. There actually was like 3 or 4 lights. I'm like, maybe that was like a planet. Right. And maybe the other ones were at airplanes. I'm not even sure. But I thought I was going to see incredible Milky Way. Nothing. Yeah. The lights were out in the plane. I had a blanket over my head against the window, right? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that's just at probably 38,000 feet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We're talking about flights too. You want to talk about flight paths? Because that's another one of the ones that should make you scratch your head if you're still holding on to the heliocentric model.
Right.
Do you want to dive into that at all?
Yeah. I'll pull up a quick one here on my app. If you just go to the images, and my favorite flight is, which one is it? It's I just put in Southern Flights. So it's this one, right? So here's a flight, fastest route on a globe from New Zealand, which is over here, to Argentina. Here's the tip of South America, right? The fastest, according to, the Great Circle route, you'd go this way. I don't know why you wouldn't go straight across, but whatever. This is the shortest route, okay? This is the actual route. It goes from here all the way up across the equator to San Francisco, to Texas, and then back down to Argentina, right?
Wow.
On a flat Earth, boom, San Francisco, Texas, Argentina. What's the shortest distance between 2 points?
Straight line.
Flight after flight after flight after flight, this. And then emergency landings, amazing. Where the flight lands where it shouldn't have been able to get there. You know,
Yeah.
the plane's got to land because someone's having a baby, someone's having a heart attack, whatever. And all of a sudden they have to land, and they land way out of their way. Is this one? Oh yeah, this is my favorite one. So Hong Kong to the UK, but they stopped in Germany. 12-hour flight. 4 hours into the flight, a mother died suddenly. Weird, right? We won't talk about that. I'll talk about that. But she's with her little kids, her husband, whole family's traveling together. She's dead. Plane's full. Dead in her seat. They kept her there for 8 hours. They didn't land in the numerous airports along this flight route. But they finally landed in Germany. I'm like, why don't you just go the extra hour and get to friggin' the UK so that at least they can get home? But they didn't. They didn't land. Why? 2 reasons. Because they were over Russia. And 2 things would happen. One, Russia would go, oh my God, let us help you. And that could spark world peace. But the other thing is, people like me would say, why were you over Russia? We'd have proof that they were over Russia. And then we'd show them, it would cost. So they didn't. They flew for 8 hours. Those poor kids. Imagine sitting next to your mother for 8 hours, let alone dead. Okay. Sorry, Mom. Just making a joke. It's just a mom joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of pilots too. A lot of videos came out in social media over the last couple of years throughout lockdown about pilots tipping people off that it is flat and we are not.
Oh, there's a lot, and I speak with some Delta pilots, some Qantas pilots, and other airlines. They're all about it, and they're flat smacking their co-pilots whenever they can. And it's fascinating, but there are a lot of pilots that are just NPCs, bus drivers, and doing their job.
Well, they had a rough go with the pokey pokes too, right? The pilots.
Oh yeah, they did. Well, the ones I'm talking to, they're unpoked. They did it right.
There seems to be a correlation there with people who went along and people who didn't, and people who are open to this.
Yeah, and now it's all coming around, and thank God we've got the father of the vaccines as the president now. Okay. All right. And he's picking some winners, Dr. Oz, and, come on. I don't want to get into that. At least I can hope. So my last flight I was on, I'm sitting there coming back from Mexico, and actually on the way to Mexico. And the pilot said, we're about 20 minutes. We'll be descending. We're about 500 miles, whatever, from our destination. So I did the calculation, whatever the number was, and the calculation was he's going to start descending at about 125 miles from the airport. Okay. And so when they start descending, the pilot has to decide, has to do a calculation. How many feet per minute do I need to drop to get to the airport? Makes sense, right? Yeah. If you're 100 miles out and you're just for easy numbers for you, 100 feet in the air, you'd have to drop a foot per minute, right? A foot per 100 miles, right?
Yeah.
Foot per minute. Is that right?
No, there's 60 in there.
Yeah.
It's the 666 time system is what gets us, right?
If you're at 6,000 feet, and you have to calculate your drop. Yes. Okay, you have to calculate your drop, and so that is a flat Earth calculation. If they don't count in curvature, if the Earth is curved, it'd be 2 miles too high. In 125 miles, there's 2 miles of drop. So how do they do that? And people are like, well, the plane's constantly adjusting. How does the plane stay level? Plane has a gyro, and that gyro spins up, and gyros hold rigidity in space. That means no matter how you turn the plane, if this is the plane, no matter how you turn the plane, the gyro will stay level. The gyro will stay oriented to where it was. So as you're flying around the ball, the gyro is going to fly around, be always level to your starting point. It's not going to go like this.
Yeah.
The plane wouldn't know what attitude it's at. And gyros hold rigidity in space. Gyros prove flat Earth. Gyros don't work on a globe. They do work on a globe, but you'd all be dead.
Yeah, one of the problems I have too is we have to make the assumption that the atmosphere is moving with the spinning ball if we want to accept that planes don't have to adjust for the spin of the Earth. You know what
Right.
I mean? Which is
Yes.
absolutely absurd. So we have to assume that the air around us is moving even faster because it's further out, according to the heliocentric model. You know what I mean? And that requires the us to remain in a vacuum, right? For
Right.
that to all work. But there is no, yeah, I don't know.
You,
For
you
me, that's
know,
a deal breaker too.
the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and then they love to invoke Coriolis. Coriolis. When
Yeah.
they'll show a guy on a merry-go-round and they'll throw a ball, and the ball will go whoop right from his point of view,
Yeah.
because he's moving. Okay, Coriolis is a real thing if the Earth was spinning. Well, when we send a balloon up 120,000 feet, it's up there for 3.5 hours. It
Mhm.
should be 3,000 miles to the west of where it took off because the Earth is going to spin out from underneath it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This balloon landed 80 miles to the east. So not only did it go up, it accelerated to take that bigger loop,
Mhm.
right? Because the circle on the land is a shorter circle than the circle at altitude. So it accelerated and outran the Earth, right?
Hey, can I give you a quick anecdotal story about my son in the school system just
Sure,
recently?
sure.
He was told by
How old's your son?
he's 13 years old in 8th grade here.
Okay.
He was told that they built a dam in China and the construction of the dam slowed the spin of the Earth.
Oh my lord! They told us that those fidget spinners, so many people were using them. It
Yeah.
changed the spin of the Earth.
No, no,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Wow.
That was a NASA article.
I love how you bring up the NASA articles about, like seven elephants, the size of seven elephants, and the silly stuff like that. Asteroids buzzing by Earth. They're always trying to keep us in that state of fear where we might get a massive cataclysmic collision at any moment. Right. That's part of the trap. I think is keeping us in fear. Once you let go of the heliocentric model, your head stops spinning. And then, like, I wanted to share with you just briefly how I got into it because I was a hardcore conspiracy researcher for a long time, and I laughed at flat Earth, thinking that it was the intentional
We all did.
distraction.
We all
Yeah,
did. I said flat Earth is here to discredit all of the other good research we're
yes,
doing.
that's exactly what I said. Yeah,
We
me too.
jumped to that conclusion
Yeah,
because we have we are so convinced that it's a globe because of the programming, because we
yeah.
were told so many times in so many different ways, and all of our worldview and fantasies are based on space.
hmm hmm Well, what I realized is that the flat earthers are the most fearless of truth seekers because of the ridicule that you have to take on. That's what I realized I was afraid of, as a truther, as I was afraid of taking that on and having to explain, um, because you really have to kind of get behind the research as well.
Yeah.
Like you always say, you have to know more about the heliocentric model than the people who believe in the heliocentric model,
So I
right?
just went to the post office to mail out some flat Earth stuff, and whenever I mail out a package, I always put flat Earth stickers all over it and stuff. And so I live in the same town I've always grew up in, and the postmaster, I've known the guy for years and years and years, right? Just
Mhm.
and he's there, and whenever he sees me, he's always busting around. And today he sees me and he's like, "Oh, go home," just like that's the way he is,
Yeah.
like what am I doing here? And then he goes, "Why don't you go tell the people the Earth is flat?" Right? And then the people in his office laughed, right? And
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm like, anytime you want, Oz. Anytime you want. Let's go. And by the way, I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. So anyone that doesn't think the Earth is a globe, you must have a good reason. 1 proof of the globe, and you win 3 Bitcoins. That's $300,000 by the time you hear this.
Yeah, yeah, that's something else. Yeah, no takers yet so far, hey, on that one for you.
The lamest stuff ever. It's incredible what people come up with. It's so stupid. But I tell people, on my app, the before you send me, the real challenge is on the app every day. There's a daily video. And by the way, today's video is phenomenal about the counter rotating stars in Antarctica. Um, watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, first check the frequently asked questions page, the question mark button, and make sure it's not answered there, and then send it to me. But the chances are that it's already answered there are 99.9%. And if you take the challenge, you will end up being a flat earther.
Yeah. Can you go a little bit into the moon landing? For a lot of us, it's obvious, but it's one of those deal breakers from the narrative. I think so. If you have a little bit you want to talk about, I like the fact that we can't go back. We haven't gone. For me, that's telling me 100% that they're lying. And then there's all the visual evidence, of course, that they provide
Yeah,
for us.
I mean, we show you one piece of fakery by NASA. You can unwind it that everything is fake. Why would they fake one thing? These are the guys that just did the greatest thing in the world, and they're having a press conference. Looks like somebody just shot their dog, right?
Yeah.
So this is let me see. Here is a picture of the LEM, right?
Mhm.
Look at this.
Nice.
That's a spaceship. It's that silver gold tape and paper mache, right? And look at the panels when they get up to the panels. Look at the curtain rods, right?
Yeah.
If somebody sheetrocked your basement like this, would you pay them?
Hell no.
Right? This is a spaceship.
Yeah.
This is a spaceship. It is incredible what people will believe.
The space race.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why I like your video with Ruth. I think it was a 100-year-old lady, because she talked about
102. Yeah.
She said they taught her that in elementary school in Connecticut in the 20s. I guess that would have been.
Yep. In the
So
20s.
something happened. This weaves right into the old world stuff. Something happened over that duration, and they got us right hooked on all this space stuff in the 50s and NASA. And there's a timeline there that I'm trying to unravel with my research.
And check this out. NASA, I've heard this, and a lot of people say it. NASA is the World Intelligence Agency. They're the head of over the CIA, FBI, KGB, CCP. They're the ones that run the show. NASA, I'm finding out they're into all sorts of things. They're involved with MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
They're involved. They own the rights to the inside of the Egyptian pyramids. They own the Egyptian section of the Grand Canyon that no one's allowed to go to. Right, the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's all
NASA
Egyptian.
owns that. Wow, that's
NASA owns that. NASA owns all of the helium companies in the world. Mm-hmm. Weird. Why are they using helium? And now, because we've been exposing their helium rockets, there was an article recently, last year. Where did I have that? That they talked about using helium to lift their rockets to get them up high before they expend a lot of fuel.
They're admitting it now?
They're saying that they can use helium to help launches. Where did I have that?
Their link with Disney is really suspect as well.
Oh, yeah, they're linked with Disney. It's incredible. Right. I have it somewhere. And, of course, Werner von Braun's gravestone says Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament show us his handiwork. Right. Yeah. The Nazi that took over.
Rocket.
Took over the Nazi rocket scientist that started NASA, right?
Well, I think a lot of it gets into the cover up of the old air travel as well. And you talked about helium, and I'm sure there's a lot more to that story as well.
Yeah,
how they took everything over.
Their logo alone, it kind of says it all.
The forked tongue. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's funny how people have this. They cling to NASA like they have an emotional attachment, just like they do with Disney. There's a strange aspect. People will wear the T-shirts and almost like flag waving for the globe and for the NASA lies. You see that as well in society.
Oh, there it is. Oops, that's not what I wanted to show, but I actually do want to show that in a second.
What is that?
I'll show you what that is in a second. So in some innovative rocket launching systems, helium-filled vessels are used to lift rockets into upper atmosphere before establishing forward flight at high speeds, showcasing helium as a role in novel launch technologies. Damage control.
After the fact. Yeah.
Right. So this is the space shuttle has the external tank, right? The tank. Right. This thing empty is made of steel. It weighs 10 tons empty. All right. And it falls back to Earth. And the story is it falls so fast that it deatomizes.
Oh.
Right. Have you ever seen anything deatomized? Like we believe
I
that
don't know what that
asteroids.
means.
It means it burns up and
Yeah.
it burns up before it hits the ground. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
crap. Right. So, but here's the thing: is this falling? Who's filming this?
It's floating.
You know who's filming this?
Mhm. Who?
The people on the shuttle that are going 25,000 miles an hour in the opposite direction.
Okay.
How could they film it for a fraction of a second, let alone all of this time? They're filming it out the window as they're going up into space,
It's just NASA
accelerating,
technology. They have technology.
accelerating. Right?
NASA has all sorts of crazy magic.
This thing is free falling.
Yeah.
Okay? This thing is free falling. Are you kidding me?
Free flying looks like,
Right?
to me.
And then let me show you another thing if I can find it. Here it is. So here, watch. This is he'll show you that he's filming out the window. Look, the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
That thing is free falling. You know, you can't hear the sound. That thing is free falling at a speed that you can't even comprehend, and they're going up at another speed you can't comprehend. But now watch. Here's Felix Baumgartner, the space ball jump. Watch him. That's free falling. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. They're filming this while they're if they were in a helicopter, they couldn't film it. If he was free falling himself, he couldn't film it because this thing's way heavier. But they're going up in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
So watch what happens though. There's we found a cloaked aircraft that went by. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There it is. See it?
No.
Watch again. 10% speed, right? Right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what is that? It kind of looks like a quadcopter of some sort with some sort of cloaking technology, right? Go a little farther. I turned it sideways.
Yeah.
Does that some sort of blimp recovery vehicle? Change the contrast.
Interesting. Oh yeah. There you go.
They're faking space. Get over it, people. On the app, there's one of my favorite sections on the app, because all of these videos are being hidden from you. If you hit the web button, by the way, if you long press any button, it tells you what it does. So people are like, what do these buttons do? Just long press it and you'll learn. But the more resources page, and you go down to rockets are balloons, balloon rockets, faking space blimps. Bring your tissues if you love space, because it's gone. It's gone if you watch those videos.
Say goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you can you talk a little bit about light, how light travels over long distances, and how basically we shouldn't be able to see these things?
No. Oh, the angular size thing. I don't even know if light travels. Light just might be there. That's a whole nother thing.
No, I know, but their model, what they tell
Yeah.
us, right? Sorry.
Yeah, they tell us that it's so cool. The stars that we see are so far away, that the light's been traveling for billions of years, and that star could be burned out already. Cool story, bro. Right? But light, as it travels, expands. It doesn't intensify. It expands. So if a balloon, the rubber on a balloon was the light, as you blow it up, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And to the point where once you blow a balloon up to like 100 feet, it's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just light light just spreads out as it's going. So it doesn't get brighter and brighter. So if the sun was a yoga ball and we're a marble, a small marble, right? That's the size comparison. And you put the sun, if the sun, back up. If it's 12 noon and the sun was just a mile over your head, it would fill the entire sky. It would be like it's like you're on a marble and the yoga ball is a millimeter over the marble, right?
Yeah.
So you look up, all you're going to see is the sun, all right? The sky, you would just see the sky like that. Then move it 93 million miles away, and it reduced in size. Why did it reduce in size? Not a trick question. Very easy.
Yeah.
Why did it reduce in size? Because it went farther away. Things get smaller. Yeah. Things got smaller, right? So it's now the size of a coin held at arm's length. It was the entire sky, horizon to horizon, 93 million miles away, or 8 light minutes, as they say. And it's the size of a quarter, the size of a coin. That the quarter might even be too big, right? Held at arm's length. Double the distance again. How much smaller does it get?
Half. I know it's a lot more.
It's a quarter of the size. So now it's the size of a pencil eraser. Double it again, so it's 4 times as far. It's probably the size of a big star. Double it again, so it's 8 times as far. It's arguable if you could even see it because its angular size is so small. 8 times 8 light minutes, 64. We'll call it a light hour. Okay? At a light hour away, you can't see the sun. Or let's say it's the size of a star. Let's make it 24 times farther just to make sure you can't see it. One light day away, you could not see the sun. Now, that's not arguable. That is giving more than the benefit of the doubt to the globe. So at a light day away, it's magnitudes too far. So what does that matter? Well, they tell us Polaris, that we can see with our naked eye, is 46 times bigger than the sun. So if we put it 46 light days away, it would be magnitudes too small to see. Ignoring the brightness issue. Let's just pretend the brightness doesn't matter. Right? That's a huge problem. Huge problem.
Huge problem.
So at 46, we'll round up 2 light months away. Can't see it. How far is Polaris? 433 light years away. Okay? Now, most of you listening, your mind's just short-circuited because you're not able to deal with big numbers because you were never taught to deal with big numbers, right? You know how cryptocurrency wallet addresses work? You know how they create them? They're random numbers. They're just random, right? And the seed words, you know what seed words for crypto wallets?
I've heard of it, yeah.
There's 24 random words that you can recover your wallet from. Well, why can't I just get a supercomputer and start putting words together and see if I can find anyone's wallets? They estimate that if all the supercomputers in the world were working at the same time at full speed, it would take like 6 sextillion years, which is unfathomable, to find one working wallet.
Wow. That's
how big these numbers are. Okay. And now those are big numbers. We're talking trillions and trillions of miles. The closest star, 25 trillion miles away, 4.5 light years. How you heard my stuff. How long is a trillion seconds, you know?
I have heard it. I know it's a long time.
It's 31,000 years. Okay. Why am I talking about seconds? Because it's just giving you an idea. 31,000 years is 1 trillion seconds. The Earth is not even 1 trillion seconds old. Okay.
Yeah.
Not even close. Right. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what I was just gonna. They do that with time too.
Yeah. Right? So if we had a ship that went 100,000 miles an hour, unfathomable. Okay. It would only take us 28,000 years to get to the closest star. Versus maybe those planets, pieces of the plane, are here just thousands of miles away instead of incomprehensible, impossible Narnia space distances.
Yeah, we're getting to what I was really hoping to talk about, because with the old world stuff, we talk about how they falsified the timeline here, and what I think they're actually doing is hiding a cataclysm from us. And you had the Darwins and all those Royal Society clowns who came out in the 1800s and created this prison of the mind for us, and where we're actually trapped in their, like you said, maybe these things are a lot closer to us than we've been told. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the shape, the actual potential shape, and the possibilities of extra land and those things.
Yeah. So, and again, I always caveat that you don't need to speculate what's beyond 60 degrees south to determine the shape of the Earth, or look up at the sky to determine it. You can do all of that right here, every day, everywhere, and everybody can verify it. Right. So if this is the shoreline of our world, Antarctica, which is the highest land on Earth, if you look at all the continents, the average elevation, Antarctica is over double number 2, over double. That's because it's the shoreline of our world pond. Okay. So that's the shoreline that holds our water in. Large bodies of water at rest need containment. So Antarctica could be bigger than all of the continents and oceans combined. You know, maybe the world is set up like this, right? You got South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, this ring. And out here is more land, extraterrestrials from the outer space out there, out south,
Hmm.
right? And so taking it one step farther, what if the world was like this? This is from The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall. I highly recommend the book.
Hmm.
We live here in this circle. There's Antarctica. There's an outer ring and another ring. And this is our local pond. And then these other ponds or pieces of the plane or planets are other worlds just thousands of miles away here on flat Earth,
Hmm.
right? That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. Now, I'm not claiming that this is the case. Some people say this is it. God created our bubble. We're here, and that's all there is. I think there's more land, right?
Hmm.
Whether we live in just one pond or multiple ponds, this has a resonance of truth with me. I'm not claiming it's true, but it certainly could be. Verse,
Can I
yeah,
show
go
you
ahead.
quickly?
Yeah,
Are you familiar with the Vibes of Cosmos work? Where on the with the moon?
absolutely.
Yeah, of
The
course
moon
you
map right here. I got it right here.
Yeah, you got it there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Basically, we're just a portion of the reflection that we're seeing on the moon. I think that's pretty profound. Oh, you got it there, here. I'll pull this up.
It's pretty interesting, and it definitely needs more investigation.
Mhm.
There's a couple like I don't quite see that, but then there's 1,000 other ones. I'm like, holy crap, that is just too coincidental. I'm not a coincidence theorist. I
Yeah.
believe that there is something to it. I believe that this entire system we live in is a living system.
Mhm.
When I say entire system, from the lights in the sky, which are sentient, I think they're angelic, to the
Mhm.
clouds, to the rocks, to the water, to
Mhm.
everything, including the moon, which controls women's cycles, right? I
Mhm.
believe, my personal belief, and there's lots of evidence, lots of ancient beliefs about that the moon is responsible for delivering and removing souls in this
Interesting.
soul system. We live in a
Mhm.
soul system, but they
Mhm.
converted it to a soul lure system, right? Souls, in my opinion, are the most important thing in existence, and they all want souls. That's why Satan, the devil, comes after your soul, and evil people that literally have lost control of their souls. They all want souls. Souls are, we're in this system for souls, having an experience for the creator, or as part of the creator, however you want to look at it.
So the heliocentric model could definitely be the soul trap. They're keeping us in the trap. You know.
Well, absolutely. That is the trap for
Mhm.
100% for sure. In
Yeah.
my 100% in my opinion, I got to say that because
Yeah.
there's other people that, don't agree.
Well, it's tough because it sometimes comes across as a judgment, because there's an
Yep.
embarrassment as well. The people who refuse to look at it, I think, in some level, that they're embarrassed that they don't have the courage to step outside of that trap. You know.
Yep. And we got the Prague clock,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like, and there's a flat earth map in here, but they recently changed it to a globe map.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In
Interesting.
Prague, if you want to change anything, um, like you want to change your fence, you got to go through 7 committees, right?
Mm.
You got to go through seven committees. Here's the clock, um, and they just changed it without telling anybody. So here's the old one. Here's the
Huh.
old one right there, right?
Yeah.
And then here's the new one.
Very interesting. Hmm.
Fascinating, right?
It's interesting that all the globalist bodies are all flat map. All their symbolism too. The UN and
Yep.
all these different organizations are showing us where we are, and they're showing us that they have us in a cage. It seems to be when I see those. Yeah.
Right. When we look at, we got the United Nations, we got the International Maritime Organization, we got the International Civil Aviation Organization, and the World Meteorological Organization. Interesting,
Yeah.
right? Just a coincidence, right?
It's
Just a
funny too,
coincidence.
because if I show somebody a map shaped like that, they'll be
Yep.
like, "Why are you showing me a flat Earth map? Why are you showing me that?"
Yeah, no
You know.
kidding. And now just you also have to be careful because there's lots of, the Globers are constantly putting out traps, tricks, trying
Yeah.
to trick us, right?
Mhm.
We don't do that to Globers. We just look at evidence, right? But they, there's a picture that's going around. It's a model flat Earth map with the outer lands, and they said this is hanging in the UN, and everyone's sending it around for years. It's not
Mhm.
hanging in the UN. It's just a
Mhm.
trick,
Yeah.
right? And there's people that all sorts of different traps they put out for us, right?
Mhm.
Uh, why do you need to put out traps? Just prove your globe, prove your globe
Yeah.
religion, and we'll go from there.
stand behind what you believe. Definitely, that's all they can do is poke holes, try to poke holes, and try to elicit some sort of reaction too. It's like I said, it's the same argument I had throughout the whole pandemic with people that were going along with that story. But I want you to talk about Kiribati too, because I like that part of the whole time zone thing and the potential, not just for lands beyond the ice wall, but I think there's potential for unknown lands within what we might consider to be the ice wall. There's also the Hyperborea element as well, which I find really interesting. We're not allowed to go to the North Pole. Is that right? We're not allowed to go to the North or the South Pole.
We're not allowed to go to the North Pole or the South Pole. Both of them are virtually and physically off limits, right? When you try to, I can show you. Let me show you how where is it? Is this it? Nope. Hold on. I gotta find there's where is it? So when you try to go on Google Earth and measure the Arctic or the Antarctic, it doesn't let you measure it.
Yeah, I've
Here
seen
it is.
that.
I got it. Takes me a second. So here you got the measuring tool on Google Earth. You can do this on your web browser because they fixed the Google Earth program and it'll show you the square miles of any area on Earth, except when you try to do Antarctica, it inverts,
Interesting.
right? It does this weird inversion, and that's weird. And then the same thing when you go to the north, you can go measure the North Pole. It should just give us a square area. Nope. And it does this weird loopy thing.
Yeah.
And now you can go measure anywhere else. I can measure Greenland. I can measure out in the middle of the ocean, and it'll give me an accurate measurement. But if you have the North Pole or South Pole in there, it will not do it. It will not do it.
Isn't it interesting how Greenland's always covered in ice as well on these maps? It's always
Yeah.
white.
And then also, if you try to measure the equator, right? If you try to measure all the way around the Earth, so line up, we got the equator. I got to flip it around a little bit, and let's jump forward. And so we're going to just measure the equator. It should come out to 24,901 miles around, but it
Mhm.
won't do it. It
Yeah.
won't let you measure a full circle around.
Interesting. Hmm.
Now, if I keep dropping points, anchor points, so it's not going to let it flip, right? I'm putting anchor points, right? It
Mhm.
should let me do it.
And that's it.
And
Oh,
here we go, and click it and watch. And it
ah,
inverts again.
interesting.
Yeah. Weird. Just a coincidence, right? Just a
Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah.
So I'll do the quick run through on Kiribati for those,
Mhm.
and it's pronounced Kiribati, but I say Kiribati because that's how it was spelled. That's
Mm.
interesting. So here's a ship tracking site. You can click on any ship, find out where it is, all information about it, who the captain is, where they're going, right? And we found a ship that was 730 miles inside of Antarctica, which is almost 2 miles higher than sea level. How does a ship get in there and up that high? You can't say there's like a melted fissure or something because how's it that high,
Mhm.
right? Well, I mean, I guess you could. And then we found another one 905 miles in. That's over 2 miles high.
Hmm.
And that's weird. So, what if the world was set up like this? All right. And so out here, ships are going out here. Well, all of that is wrapped around a ball, and they're telling us that all of this is just one continent on the bottom,
Mhm.
right? Which
Mhm.
is fascinating, right?
Definitely.
So here are the ships. Oh, so we clicked on the ship, and it was from the nation of Kiribati. And like, where the hell's that? It's out here. I put a pin on it because it's so small you can't see it. It's a little sandbar, right?
Hmm.
It's a friggin' sandbar. And like, why are they going there? America, China, Vietnam gave them billions and billions of dollars, saying it's a very important trade route. Very important trade route,
Mhm.
right? And that's interesting. Also on Kiribati, somebody found there's a Captain Cook hotel. Weird. Captain Cook bread and breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Captain Cook's the guy that tried to circumnavigate
Yeah.
Antarctica. Took him 3.5 years. It went to, it went over 60,000 miles.
Mhm.
This is the tracking of ships that are docking there. and all of them have very little information, and they have their destination either unknown or Christmas Island. Christmas Island. You know, the story of Saint Nick and Christmas and the satanic origins of that. Weird. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Weird stuff. And then there's all sorts of nuke testing that was done in Kiribati.
Oh, yeah.
So that to me sounds like they're just trying to keep people away. You know, look at these guys. Nuclear bombs going off, and they're just walking around in their t-shirts. Don't really care. No one's ducking. No one's running. No one's covering their eyes. Just nuclear bomb, right? And then they show this picture in a recent article. That picture has been used for the last 20 years in every single nuclear discussion. It's ridiculous.
What are you trying to say about nukes?
I'm trying to say that nukes aren't as described on my website. Go to the nuclear hoax banner. Click it. It's Crow 777 Radio did the breakdown for you. He made it easy. Listen and learn, right? And it's all there. Go check that out. FlatEarthDave.com. So time zones on a globe are 24 lines from the North Pole to the South Pole, sectioning the globe like the sections of an orange, right? And that's how you have your 24 time zones, because there's 24 hours in a day. So wherever the sun is over, that's where it's noon, and then you can count the numbers all the way around. That's how your time zones work, people. Okay? However, there's this one time zone on the side here at the date line that does this weird jig-jag. Like, why is it doing that? Let me zoom in.
There we go.
Why does it go like this? This is 3.5 time zones here. Why does it do that? And guess what's right here? Kiribati. Kiribati. Weird. What does that prove? Nothing. Doesn't prove anything other than it's weird. And since we've been making these videos and been going wild, now when you search Kiribati, it brings you here. Let me show you where Kiribati is. Kiribati isn't anywhere near there. It's on the other side of the world, practically. And it brings you to there. And they changed the name. They changed the name to Karamati.
Since this research, since you've kind of been getting into this.
Yeah, just like when we exposed the Georgia Guidestones, they blew them up because that was rock solid evidence that the Earth is not tilting.
Yeah. We see that with construction photos in the old world too.
Absolutely. And why are there 19 time zones in the north, 24 in the tropics, and 32 in the south? How do you explain that on a ball?
It should be getting smaller again as it gets to the underside of the ball.
So the theory is that it is an important trade route. From here, their ship is going out here. And because of the way they're tracking, it just put it in the middle of Antarctica. And since then, they've cleaned it up. But we saw lines of ships going through Antarctica. Like, how does that happen? And they're fishing ships, right? Yeah. What if they could be trading bluefish, tuna fish, children, technology, weapons? Who knows? Yeah. Right? Maybe the real controllers of our world live out here. What if this was where the Antarctic base is off of South America? So you get here, you go out, and you dock right here, right? This is bigger than South America and North America combined, okay? So you pull up there, and they go, you're at Antarctica. How the heck are you going to know? Yeah. How are you going to know anything? How are you going to know that the people at this base over here off of Australia aren't even on the same continent as you? Yeah. How would you know? Unless, of course, you tried to say, hey, take me to the other base. And they're like, well, we can't do that, because of the penguins. Right?
Yeah, you make a lot of good points. I wonder if we could close out with the spiritual aspect of the, I know you've spoken a lot about the concept of God and how the heliocentric takes you away from that and how flat Earth maybe brings you to stillness.
Look, I saw a great meme today. It was as the Bible isn't proof of the Earth being flat. Flat Earth is proof that the Bible being true. Right? I thought that was interesting. Interesting quote. The spiritual aspect is it brings you closer to the equator. People say, well, what difference does the shape of the Earth make? I have to go to work on Monday, Well, I don't even know what today is. Let me think about it for a second. I know Thanksgiving's coming up, and I went swimming this morning, so it's Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the what difference does it make is it brings you closer to creation. So when people say, what has it done for my well-being? Well, first thing is I'm more at peace, because when you see flat Earth, you break free of everything else, right? I'm not afraid of nuclear bombs. I'm not afraid of asteroids. We're not running out of oil. We're not overpopulated. Global warming is a hoax, right?
Mhm.
There's free energy. There's more to discover. We're at the center of creation. Governments don't rule over me. I don't stand under any of them. Taxes are optional. Okay.
Mhm.
You learn all of this stuff. And so, wow, I'm definitely more at peace just from that alone. Greater sense of freedom. I understand what this place is or what it isn't. We're not in a prison. So that expands my imagination bigger, right? Your thoughts create your reality. They don't want you to know that. So your imagination creates your reality. Well, guess what? If you live on a ball, you can't even imagine past that ball because you live on a ball. It's a prison for your imagination.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is closer connection to the creator. I had no conscious connection to the creator before I discovered flat Earth, but flat Earth has forced me to understand. And it's not, I don't have faith in a creator. I know there's a creator. So it's not even a faith thing anymore because it's unshakable. But in the heliocentric religion, it could be a Big Bang, that Jesuit priest made up, or
Yeah.
God could have done it. It could be either. So you have to have incredible faith to believe in that nonsense. But this place was created for us, and we're here in this soul system. Um, you know, I
I like
think
that.
that's where we are.
That's a great summary, Dave. If you want to plug your app and anything else you'd like to plug, and then we'll call her.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want anyone to believe anything anyone says. I want you to verify everything. God said, verify all things. And that is important to do, but it's difficult to do when Google doesn't play ball. So I created an app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. It's on Android and Apple. For now, it'll be other places, early next year, hopefully. And it's $3, and it bypasses all the algorithms. It gives you all the information you want. The frequently asked question page is worth it alone, in my opinion. Where's the edge? Where does the sun go? Why the lie? My favorite section. Southern stars. There's all sorts of stuff. Rainbows. I just added a rainbow section down here. Amazing, crazy stuff. And all of this stuff is being hidden from you. There's this more resources section. I remember we were talking about the balloon blimps. A book section. If you go to let's go. I have an old world section. Where's the old world section? No, boom, old world.
Yep.
Here's you got John Levy's book. You got a bunch of old world books here, and more being added. And by the way, if anyone has any content that you think belongs on the app, just send it to me. I'll check it out and add it. And the library is getting bigger and bigger. There's some cool stuff to buy, flat Earth stuff or gifts for the holiday season. What better than getting your normie globy family member a flat Earth gift, right?
Yeah.
Do you know about Shilajit?
Yeah, a little bit. You can talk a little bit about it if you want.
Yeah. So Shilajit, and I have limited supplies of this, but I found that the greatest source and at an unbelievable price. But that's not what I'm talking about. It comes out of the rocks, like in the Himalayas and in Russia, right? It's this black mineral goo. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's Titan blood.
Really?
I think it's the blood of Titans.
Wow.
Right? It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I have a homeschool section. Amazing stuff. If you got kids, this book right here it's in the book section. Who Said the Earth is Flat? I highly recommend it. Go to their website, which is the initials for Who Said the Earth is Flat. So WSTEIF .com. And looking for good content creators that keep adding more and more here. It's got a biblical section. You want to learn about all sorts of stuff there. You got Marty Leeds on here every Sunday. He does an amazing service. If you like your pastor to swear a little bit, talk about flat Earth and stuff, he's the he's the man. He's the man. And he's like nobody else. And then the old world section, right? I'm sure you follow My Lunch Break.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fantastic. Got Old World Order in here. And one of my favorites is a 5-hour video from Iwarnan, the lost history of flat Earth. I'm
Mhm.
sure you saw that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
He
there's
flip-flopped. He
no
flip-flopped on the
he
content, but
he did flip flop, but and his flip flop is very unsupported. You know,
yeah,
I have theories on like who is Iwarnan, right? But
yeah.
you know, to get to where he was, he put out some good information. So I'm holding on to the good,
Absolutely, absolutely.
leaving the bad.
Agree.
And
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Jake. I'm the Improbable Dreamer on
me too.
Instagram. He's killing it. And then also we have video search. It does all sorts of stuff. I got games. I got different languages because the app is mostly in English, but I have different languages. And it does all that. I got a friend finder. I got a meetup maker. And I've got a matchmaker, right? You can go in and set up your profile. It's kind of like a Facebook profile. And then you could find other like-minded people near you. And it's phenomenal.
That's very important with this because it can be isolating in your everyday to day life. So I commend you for doing that to have a place.
On if I hit the meetup maker, right? It shows you right here, and I could say here, just sort by date, and I'll just change the date a little bit, and I'll search. And there's 4 meetups. This is Flat Earth Social, which is going on with Jaron and Austin actually in about an hour from now. It starts, and it's going to be streamed on Jaron's channel. But these are different meetups, and you just scroll from meetup to meetup. And here's someone's doing one. This is the rainbows in Antarctica, rainbows in the north, and rainbows in between. They're different heights because of the dome. But that's just the image that they use. But the most important thing on here is you say alert me of local meetups. So I have mine set to I have it set to 1,000 miles, but you can set it to shorter distances. And anytime anyone adds a meetup that's within your radius, you get an email notification so you don't miss the meetup.
Nice.
So everybody turn that on, start using it. It's pretty new. And then the friend finder, which when you open that, right now we're doing maintenance on it. So it's down for a little bit, but this will, hold on. I got to change that. This will populate with all the dots of all of the people that are near you. But right now the friend finder is down. Yeah. Right. And there's the last thing right here, the middle button there on the friend finder is where you can set up a referral code. You'll have a random number here. Just click the pencil, put in anything up to 7 digits, it could be 1 digit. And when anyone gets the app, tell them to use your referral code. You earn points. And now the points, there's a subscription for if you want to use the friend finder, if you want to message people on the friend finder, if you want to set up a profile and do a couple other things. 95% of the app comes with the $3, but it's $11 a year for everything else combined, all current features and all future features. But if you get 11 points, 11 people get the app, you get it for free, right? But you also earn cryptocurrency, Dome coins. And right now, one referral gets you $5 in Dome. Weird, right? Isn't that weird? and you can learn more about that by hitting the Dome icon right here. So last note is the trolls will show up, say I'm a scammer trying to sell you an app, right? Whatever. You can say whatever they want, but they will never offer a globe proof. They'll say this and that and insults and all sorts of stuff, but they'll never offer a globe proof. And if you check their channel, they have all of the globe proofs there. What I mean by that is their channels are completely empty with no content.
Yeah.
So,
well, Dave, I think you're special in the best way. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much, man.
All right. Take care.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
This has been an old world exploration. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and comment. I believe we are in the process of remembering who we really are and casting off the shackles of illusion. Until next time.